So, how do you transform a nation? I mean, not just tweak a few policies here and there, but really fundamentally reshape its entire future. Well, today we're going to explore a proposed blueprint that aims to do exactly that for Bangladesh. Let's dive in and see what it's all about. Okay, so the philosophical backbone for this whole ambitious plan is laid out in this book, The Architects of Tomorrow by Guru Delawar Hussain. And you gotta understand, this isn't just a book. It's presented as the core vision for a movement the author calls the rejuvenation of Bangladesh. What's really interesting is how this book sets itself up. Right in the preface, it makes it super clear. This is not just some academic critique of the present or a vague set of ideals. Nope. It's designed to be a detailed, actionable plan, a real manifesto with a strategic roadmap for the future. Okay, so why? Why is a plan this big, this radical, even on the table? To really get the solution, you first have to understand the problems it's trying to solve. And the book kicks off by laying out the core challenges the nation is up against. According to the book, despite all the nation's resilience, its progress is being seriously held back by four major roadblocks. We're talking poverty, systemic corruption, social injustice, and widespread inequality. It's these issues that, in the author's view, make a bold new vision so critical. All right, so we get the why, but that brings up the million-dollar question, right? How do you take a philosophical vision and turn it into actual, tangible economic action? How do you build an engine that's powerful enough to drive this kind of massive national transformation? And the answer, at least according to this plan, is a very specific economic strategy. It's called the DAFA 24 Initiative, and it's designed to be the practical economic engine that's going to power this entire transformation. And here it is, its official logo. This symbol represents the Technology Import and Export Initiative, which is the formal name for DAFA 24. This right here, is the central pillar of the entire economic strategy. So what is it exactly? Well, to put it simply, it's a strategy that's laser-focused on cranking up exports. The main idea is to import specific things, put them all together inside Bangladesh, and then export the finished products to the global market. And just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, this is no small pilot project. The plan calls for creating 100 domestic commercial zones. 100, all dedicated to this assembly process. That number really tells you how ambitious this whole thing is. Okay, so we've got the what and the where. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty how. How is this whole import, assemble, export cycle actually supposed to work according to the plan? First up, the imports. The strategy is to tap technologically advanced nations for all the raw materials and components. I mean, just look at this list. It gives you a real sense of the global scope here, pulling from major economic powerhouses all across Asia, Europe, and North America. So what are they actually bringing in? The plan points to two main categories. You've got software, which is like the digital brain, and then semi-finished goods. Think things like computer chips or smartphone screens. These are the building blocks that'll be transformed into finished products in those 100 zones. This whole thing is laid out in a pretty straightforward four-step process. Step 1, you import the software and parts. Step 2, you assemble them in the domestic zones. Now step 3, this is a really key detail. The brand new products are first used to satisfy demand at home. Only after that, in step 4, is the leftover surplus exported to the rest of the world. Okay, so we've seen the nuts and bolts of the economic engine, but what's it all for? What's the end game? Why is this particular cycle of import, assemble, export so important to that bigger vision of national transformation? It really boils down to three big goals that all work together. First, by making goods at home, the aim is to meet domestic demand. Second, by selling the extra stuff abroad, the idea is to seriously ramp up exports. And third, by juggling both of those, the really crucial point is to maintain the country's overall trade balance. And remember, all this economic stuff, it's all in service of a much grander vision. It ties directly back to the book's main goal, to lift up Bangladesh's global standing and turn it into a beacon of stability and progress, even drawing comparisons to places like Japan and Singapore. So when you put it all together, this is what you get. On one side, you've got the book, The Architects of Tomorrow, which lays out the philosophical vision. And on the other, you've got the DAFA 24 Initiative, the economic engine that's supposed to bring that vision roaring to life. But, a plan this huge, It's about more than just money and manufacturing. The book's preface wraps up with a really powerful message, basically saying that real victory, true victory, only happens when the entire population comes together with one spirit, one path, and one single unwavering purpose. And that really leaves us with a big question to chew on. This blueprint makes a strong case for a link between a unified economic strategy and national rejuvenation. But can any single plan, no matter how detailed, truly provide that one path and one purpose needed to build a nation's future?